Hare Krishna. I will go ahead and mute everyone. Let's start with our prayers, Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत् Hare Krishna everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. For those who have uh, for those who will watch this later in the YouTube, I wish them and also for those who are present here all the very best wishes and sincere prayers at the lotus feet of Shishi Gaur Nitai for your overall well-being. So let's get started. We had so far 4 sessions on Bhagavad Gita. We had 2 sessions on the introduction, and we had 2 sessions on the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So today we are going to start with the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We have seen in the first chapter how Sanjay, who is the chariot driver of Dhritarashtra, he has a very special empowerment. He is able to he is able to actually uh, sitting at sitting in the palace of Dhritarashtra, he can actually see what is happening in the war field in Kurukshetra. And as he's seeing it, he's narrating to Dhritarashtra. Last time we spoke about this, that just like in today's world, we have Wi-Fi. Okay, and by Wi-Fi, I can see all of you, and you can also see me. And but in those days, we did not have. There was no need for Wi-Fi. So there is a just to give you a context here, in the Yaksha Samvad, the in one incident in Mahabharat, Yudhishthir Maharaj is talking to, he's actually having a conversation with Yaksha. And this Yaksha, like, okay, all four Pandava brothers, they have gone one by one to a lake to drink water, and they were all killed. Okay, they were dead. And now Yudhishthir Maharaj actually comes and he's in front of the Yaksha, and this he's answering the questions. Okay. Yudhishthir Maharaj was known for his knowledge of dharma, and um, he answers them correctly. So because of that, the Yaksha is very pleased with him, and he brings all his brothers back to life. Then the Yaksha still further goes and has conversation with him and tells that, okay, I want to give you yantra. Yantra means machine. Okay, and this will make your life very easy. But in the Dwapar Yuga, it was a yuga where they used to do these fire sacrifices, right? So it was a age of mantra. It was not of yantra. And so Yudhishthir Maharaj says that, okay, no, I don't need yantra because this is an age of mantra. So, so thereby, um, so machines can do things very, very easy. Like as we see, like these days, we have these Wi-Fi machines, okay, or rather the routers, the uh, all those cables that go through things. These are all okay. There are digital machinery, there were mechanical machinery, then there is digital machinery, and through this, lot of seamless transmission is happening across the fiber cable optics, and the data is being transferred. However, in in the in the previous times, like, okay, there was no need for yantra. Uh, just by meditating on this, by the mantra, this data could be transmitted. So, although many people have this very, there's a myth that, okay, we are now very advanced, but whatever technology was available in the Dwapar age, we are actually not there yet. We are far more backward. We need yantra to do our transmission. We have lost the knowledge of the mantra. Another example you can consider, like, okay, you can think at it this way. Like if you go to the, um, I know, like in if you go to the, there are some places, like if you go to the stores, there are people who work as, like, okay, those heavy load lifters, right? Like, okay, they work in the shop floor. Their work is to lift things like from one place to another. They are very heavy, bulky size body. Okay, and they can take here. If you see an average American, they have got good physique. Okay, so some of these people, okay, they work outside the uh, those building machinery stores, which are Home Depot. Even I think you can relate, like, okay, to the places in wherever you are located. But these people, they one of the devotee was saying, like, okay, his son, like, okay, many children, like, okay, they tend to do some summer jobs. So so his friend wanted to move from one place to another, and during that time, this this my friend's son, like, okay, he actually agreed to move uh, the stuffs for them. So he was moving like heavy duty couches, sofas, like, okay, bed, other almira. Okay, so they were moving for that other family, and he had a very good build. So he was moving this, and a lot of hard work he did. And after that, they paid him also. They paid him like $10-15 per hour, like they paid. And then he came back to his devotee friend and he asked, like, Dad, like, how much does this white collar job pay? And his father said, like, okay, so this white collar job, like, okay, they are they generally pay like, and he gave an example. His example was that, see, if you take for example the the immigration attorney. Okay, like here there is a famous immigration attorney, like many people may know, Murthy law firms. Okay, their basic, like even if you um, take the, like for immigration, if you reach out to them, even if you take their lowest grade uh, attorney for their appointment, it is like $300-350 per hour. Okay, if you actually reach out to uh, actually the Murthy, Sudha Murthy, then we are talking about like something over $500-600 per hour. So you can you can understand. On one hand, I was talking about the boy who did this heavy load. Okay, that involves so much physical labor. Okay, so that was like, okay, 10, 12, $15 per hour. And we are talking about people like who are working with the mind, okay, especially these attorneys, like they're getting paid at somewhere 300, 400, and upwards to that tune. So you can imagine this is this is really very interesting. So that being said, let us let us try to understand what this actually means. Okay, so like at the bodily level, like when we are working, then that although we are doing a lot of heavily, like it involves like a lot of heavy duty work, but the work of the mind, even science, like even the industry also understands that the work by the mind is far more superior than what is being done by the body. So that was that was where, like, why I started this is because we are talking about this, um, the yaksha who was giving the yantra. He was about to give the benediction of yantra to Yudhishthir Maharaj, but Yudhishthir Maharaj said, no, no. This is the age of mantra. So that being said, let's come back and with where we were. We are now starting with the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen now. Is my screen visible? Okay. Good. Is the screen visible? Uh,
Yes, yes.
okay. All right. So the first chapter was was named "Observing the Armies." Like in English, it is actually um, Arjuna's lamentation. First chapter was all about the lamentation of Arjuna. And when we were ending this chapter, does anyone remember like why Arjuna, why was he lamenting? Why did he not want to fight? What were his reasons for not fighting? Any one reason? Yes. Yes, Lalu. Yes, Baba, go ahead. You can unmute and say.
Yeah. Because Arjun was thinking that they are all my relatives and so I should murder them. I should, in the war, they will be, I will be losing every my relative. So that is why he is worried about go for war.
Right. So he was thinking that, okay, there is no enjoyment even if I'll be victorious because if the relatives are not there, like, okay, then who will be there? Like, okay. That is one reason. Yes. Anything else? So there was one was like, okay, he had like one was that, okay, he had a compassion for his friends and relatives, and he was thinking that, okay, fine, if I if I'm victorious, but there is no one to enjoy with, then what is the use? It was another thing. Then then Arjun said that, okay, fine, okay, he did mention that, okay, There could be sinful reactions if I kill. And then he goes into that vicious cycle of if these soldiers are being killed, then what will happen to their wives? And there will be degradation, and unwanted population will come in, which is Varna Shankar. And so there will be a destruction of the family tradition. And fifth one was like, okay, he was very, very indecisive. He did not know like, okay, where, I mean, what what needs to be done. So the first chapter ends with the uh, ends with the note where Arjun is very confused. Like, okay, he puts down his Gandiva bow and he is very sad. And now then we start with the second chapter. Second chapter is titled as Contents of the Gita Summarized. Okay, so the entire Bhagavad Gita is summarized in this chapter. This is one of the large, one of the very big chapters. Okay, so uh, it is probably the second largest chapter actually. So let's go ahead and get started. So initially, we'll go through the we'll go through the translations. So Sanjay was narrating to Dhritarashtra and he was saying that, okay, see, Arjun, his heart is full of compassion and he is completely in a depressed state. And in that state, his eyes are full of tears. Okay. And oh, Madhusudan, um, and at that time, like, okay, Sanjay is saying that, okay, our Madhusudan Krishna, he spoke the following words. Why is speaking Madhusudan? Why is saying the name Madhusudan? Because Madhusudan, Krishna is called Madhusudan because he killed the demon named Madhu. Okay, and because he killed the demon Madhu, he is being referred here as Madhusudan. I'm just unmuting everyone just so that okay, there is no background noise. So he's being called as Madhusudan because he killed the demon Madhu. This so with with that with that understanding, Sanjay is giving a hint here that Arjun is also having uh, lot of questions going on his mind, lot of misunderstanding in his mind. So Krishna will kill that demon of misunderstanding which is going on in his mind, and that is why he's calling him by the name Madhusudan. So it has two meanings. One is the killer of the demon Madhu, and the other reason why he's addressed at that as that like, okay, he will soon kill the demon of misunderstanding within Arjuna's heart. So isn't it such a beautiful name? Like, okay, see, Krishna is addressed by like, okay, the activities that he does. So we can remember these things. Like these are beautiful references. Like, okay, and we can call Krishna by these names. When we call Krishna by the activities that he does, he becomes very pleased. So then what happens? Now Arjuna has done all the talking. In last chapter, does anyone remember how many times Krishna spoke? Krishna was almost quiet, but how many times did Krishna speak in the last chapter? Anyone remembers? You can just unmute and say. Krishna just spoke once in the last chapter. Okay, he just said that, okay, he told Arjuna, like, okay, when Arjun said that, okay, yes, just put the chariot in between. So he said, behold, Parth, like here is the army, like you are right in front of the army in the center. So here now Krishna, he starts he starts his conversation here. Okay, and when he starts his conversation, he starts chastising Arjuna. He starts telling Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? Arre, what happened to you actually? Kutastva kasmalamidam. They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to a higher planets but to infamy. I mean, what kind of this justification that you are giving? How have these things come to you? So Krishna starts with a very heavy weight, and especially at this time of crisis, what kind of things are you talking about, Arjuna? Why? How did you get this? And then uh, Krishna says that, O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. So here, uh, Krishna starts using very strong words. Do not yield to this degrading impotence. So, klaibyamma sma gamapartha. Um, so by that, okay, Krishna is saying, okay, this is not suitable for you. He's saying that, okay, uh, this whatever you're thinking that, okay, this compassion and all this magnanimity, okay, all this non-violence, that is petty weakness of your heart. Krishna is using very strongly it is like, because Arjun was giving reasons why he should not fight. Krishna is saying, okay, give up this all these things, arise and fight, oh chastiser of the enemy. So many times, like, okay, what happens is, like, okay, mm, when we are trying to when we come in Krishna consciousness, right? There are many distractions, and while we have distractions, there are many things which are um, which act as brakes for our determination. Okay, sometimes we think that, okay, we want to do this, but then we are unable to do this. And I'm not talking about those situations where, like, okay, we may be dependent on others, but let's say if we think that, okay, oh, let's say we want to chant more, but then we think that, okay, slowly, like, we hear a lecture, we feel very inspired. Yes, let's chant more. Okay, or let's do this after this, hearing this thing. But then slowly, like, okay, as time passes, like, okay, the momentum slows down in our own heart. So that is called Hridaya Daurbalya. So it is petty weakness of our heart. So Krishna is saying that, okay, give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Arjuna is known to be a great chastiser. It's Parantapa. Parantapa means chastiser of the enemy. Like, he has defeated, he has fought so many battles. Right now, at this moment, he's he's in a confused, nervous state. So, and but he has the greatest advantage. He has Krishna by his side. So then Arjuna says, Oh, Arjuna Uvacha, Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhav Arisudana. Arjun said, Oh, killer of inner, oh, killer of enemies, Arisudan. Arisudan is killer of enemies. And and again he addresses, Oh, killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? Here Arjun makes a point here. He's using the words Arishudan and Madhusudan. He's saying, oh Madhusudan, oh killer of the demon Madhu, oh Arisudan, oh killer of the enemies. Krishna, what you are saying is fine, but you are known as Madhusudan. You have killed the demon Madhu. And oh Arisudan, you are the killer of all the enemies. But whom are you asking to kill? Whom are you telling me to kill? You are asking me to kill my teacher. You are asking me to kill my grandfather who are worthy of my worship. How can I shoot them with my arrows? See, Arjun is also trying to, he's putting a point like, okay, if it's a superior, now these superiors are always respectable, right? They are not to be offended. Forget about this arrow fight. They are not even supposed to be offended through verbal fight. Okay, and what is, uh, I mean, that is the general etiquette. But what is Krishna telling? Krishna is saying, okay, go kill them, and Arjuna is trying to, uh, Arjuna is trying to say that, okay, how can we go ahead and kill them? And then, if you see in the next line, Arjuna is saying this. Arjuna is saying that, okay, it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of lives of the great souls who are my teachers. Okay, even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So I would rather, what I would do is, I would I would give up my life. Okay, it is better that okay, I can live in the world okay by begging rather than killing these people. And they may be desiring some, they may be supporting Duryodhan, but at least you have to understand they are my superiors, right? They are my teacher, they are my grandfather. If they are killed, like, okay, what kind of life will we live? Everything will be tainted with blood. So generally, like, okay, see, if you look at this, see, I was hearing one lecture by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada makes one very wonderful point. He says, see, if you hear this, right, whatever Arjuna's arguments are there, right, the counter arguments that Arjuna makes, if you think normally, like, okay, from a material perspective, everyone will be like, yeah, Arjuna is making a right point, right? Like, okay, we have to look at this from a worldly point of view. Arjun will be very popular um, because whatever points he's making, it will touch the heart of the general people, and they will say, yes, yes, that is correct. But uh, we have to understand this that what he's trying to do is Arjun is trying to look at it from a bodily relation perspective. Arjun is trying to look at it from a bodily relation perspective. Krishna consciousness is not about like, okay, what worldly people think, who gets the populistic vote within the world. That is not what is the ultimate objective of Krishna consciousness. That is samsiddhir haritoshnam. Am I pleasing Krishna? What worldly men will think, if we are thinking about that, that means we can understand that okay, we are not we are not there yet. We are not Krishna conscious yet. I mean, we have a long way to go. But if we are constantly thinking, will this be pleasing my Guru or Krishna? Then in that case, we are making advancement. We may have to have we may have to undergo difficulties through this. We may not be able to please everyone. I'm not saying that okay, we have to offend anyone. But when we start walking this path, okay, at that point of time, there may be certain there may be certain things like when we are trying to stick by the principles, we may have like a lot of people may start questioning like, oh, this person he has now started walking this Krishna conscious path. Now let's see what he has started doing. What is this all day chanting that they're doing? Okay. What is this Bhagavatam reading and like what is this? Oh, it was okay, like once in a while that is okay. But now let's see this person like okay, he's just all day like okay, he's doing like this. Now there could be two things. One is like okay, the person is determined, like, okay, he will move forward. But the other thing is like if you think, okay, let me try to please them also. We cannot end up pleasing everyone. We cannot end up pleasing everyone. But when we try to please Krishna, when we try to please those devotees who are in the Guru Parampara, who have given their life for Krishna, then we become very dear to Krishna. So this is one very important thing to understand here. Because a one when he comes when we are trying to come to Krishna consciousness, you see Arjun is making a lot of questions here. He is putting a lot of counter arguments. Sometimes the devotee within his heart there is a battle going on. Okay, of oh, what if I do this? What if I do that? Unless and until that person takes a guidance, okay, these battles will continue to go on. Okay, once the devotee, because it is best that okay, if the devotee is having doubts in his heart, like, okay, or if there is like okay, but I should better do this. Like, okay, I like this is something I should do. That is something I should do. Rather than doing that, it is best to take guidance. Because Arjun, what he's telling is, see, if you take populistic worldly view, Arjun is whatever he's telling is like okay, very famous, very popular among worldly people. But Krishna is chastising him for that. Okay, so if we are trying to please the world, then we can please the world, but we may not be able to get Krishna. And if we are trying to oh, please Krishna, then initially we may not be able to please the world. But when Krishna wants, okay, he can do anything. he can change, he can change the perspective of everyone. And there are numerous such examples. I was I want to share one thing in this regard. Okay, I was hearing from my spiritual master, His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So he was sharing that when he went, so he actually hitchhiked from his home at the age of 19. He went hitchhiking with his friends in search of God. And then from Chicago, he went all the way, okay, traveling hitchhiking to India. But during his journey, he would write back to his parents, and he would mention that okay, he's here and he does not have he's in Turkey, he's in the Himalayas, he does not have an address, and that would give a lot of stress to his parents. Okay, but and when he returned back, they saw, okay, oh, my son just went like this and he came back as a sadhu. So, and plus he was from a Jewish background actually. And when for it it took some time like for his parents to digest what was happening, but they always trusted his their son like okay, understanding that okay, he's doing if this keeps him happy like okay, then let's let it go like this. But there was a time that came in the life of his parents where they were invited by some devotees to come to Mumbai. Okay, and then when they saw the devotees, when they saw like, okay, the reciprocation that my spiritual master has with the devotees, how it has transformed their lives, and how much love like, okay, these devotees were giving to their parents. Like, okay, in fact, like one of the very popular industrialist Mafatlals, their chairperson, like, okay, he and his wife, like, okay, they were serving Guru Maharaj's parents, like, okay, day and night. They had so many servants, but they were personally serving the parents with all the need, being available for them 24 by 7. And so many other devotees also. But this really touched their heart, okay? And when they expressed their gratitude, I mean, in reciprocation, the devotees themselves said that, okay, whatever we are doing, our lives got transformed by the presence of your son. And then his parents, after years, they said, okay, we could not understand what you are doing, but we are so proud of you with whatever you are doing. Please continue to do this because we thought, like, okay, we could see you happy in a different way. Okay, but we understand now that, okay, whatever you are doing is far greater than whatever you have thought about. You have the journey that you're going through. So this gives and through this, like, okay, he gives a message, he gives a very powerful message that if you stick to the principles of spirituality, if you stick to the principles of Krishna consciousness, not compromising on the principles of Krishna consciousness, then difficulties will come, will be misunderstood in the short run. But in the long run, people will understand that this was really helpful. What kind of transformation it has brought in the life of people. So Arjun is at that juncture where he's trying to um, tell Krishna, like, okay, what would be better thing for him. And then further, Arjun goes. Arjun says here he's totally confused and he accepts. Nor do we know which one is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So Krishna, please tell me, like, okay, what is it? What is it that we do? Which one is better? Like, okay, should I fight dutifully and basically do this unnecessary violence, or should I should I just go ahead and do begging? Would that be a better idea? Or I mean, see, anyways, if I fight, like, okay, uh, there's no guarantee that I'll be victorious in this fight, right? So if I live, if I get victory also, then also like, okay, I won't have the relatives with whom I can enjoy this. So there is so much like a bewilderment. And then comes this verse. Like, okay, this verse, this seventh verse of the second chapter, I would highly recommend if we can memorize this. कार्पण्य दोषोपहता स्वभावात् पृच्छामि त्वं धर्म समुद्धचेत यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं साढिमां त्वं प्रपन्नम्. Here Arjun is saying, now I am totally confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. Because of the weakness, I have totally lost all composure. I'm confused about my duty. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me. He's telling Krishna, oh, Krishna, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So Arjun is saying that please don't consider me as your friend anymore. Consider me as your disciple. He's saying, Krishna, from now on, you are my guru. Please tell me I am completely surrendered to you. Please instruct me. Okay. Very, very powerful verse. And what we will do is we will read the purport of this particular verse because this particular verse is very, very crucial, very important. So let's read this. By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. So, no matter who we are, but we are always in that perplexity, okay, um, when we are in the material activities. Some of them may be in perplexity because of job loss, I mean, basically job related stress. Some may be in a perplexity, like many people who come to US from India. They are in a perplexity of like, okay, what will happen for my immigration? Do I get a green card or not? Okay, because there is a long queue. Some of them may be perplexity because of some health related challenges. Some of them may be in a perplexity because of relationship related challenges. Okay, there may be someone in relationship who are not treating them well, or who are not being treated well by others. So and then Srila Prabhupada says in every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. Now, in all this, many times the purpose of the life itself is forgotten. Okay? And and we are in a confused state as to what could be the purpose of the life, and we are doing many things, and like, okay, just we are scrambling to make ends meet, like, okay, but despite that, like, okay, we are not able to please others. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that okay, when one is in a perplexity and one wants to be very clear about what should be the purpose of my life, then one should approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happens without our desire. So no one really actually desires that, okay, that I want perplexities in my life, I want nervousness, confusion in my life. But this happens without our desire. They are like fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Think about it. Okay, I would say think about any situation in your life, okay, where you were you were dealing with a situation, okay, which wherein okay, you were everything was going right, and at some point of time, okay, suddenly there was something which was completely unexpected that happens. I'll give you some examples. Sometimes, okay, people are faced with job loss. Okay, they they think that okay, they are doing really well, and everything is going well. I've I know one person. I'll give you one example actually. So when I started working, that was way back in the year 2000. It was one of the most flourishing years in the IT industry, and that was the year when Y2K in IT. Those who are there, like they will know this. Y2K projects were being awarded, and many companies were getting a lot of projects. So IT, there was a very big boom. Everyone wanted to study in the computer science and information technology, and um, whoever joined earlier who had some experience, they were trying to somehow get placed in within US directly, like, okay, because at that point of time, it was not. I mean, getting a visa was not that very challenging. So many people would get placed. So I know a friend of mine, like, okay, who happened to be a co-worker, and he had more. He had joined, like, okay, he was working for. He was senior to me by 1 or 2 years. Um, so he happened to get a job directly at New York Stock Exchange. Okay. And he got a very wonderful, lucrative offer. And he went ahead and took that. So we used to work with an Indian firm, like with I was working with TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, at that point of time. And this person got really placed very well. He got a very big jump in his salary. So, and we were in India. So from India to US, and plus, like, he gets a very big jump. And he was very super happy with that. And now he moves to US. He's working, and he's in the most exquisite setting, like he's out there. And in 2001, like, so he joins in the early 2001. And in 2001, September, we had this 9/11 incident. So after this 9/11 incident, like, okay, um, there was total market crash. And during this time, many people, they lost their jobs. And apparently, during that time, this person also lost his job. Not just did he lose his job, but there were no other jobs available in the market. So he was trying to struggle, he was struggling to find a job. And during that time, like, while he was trying to do that, he was already at a very close risk of losing the timeline that a visa gives to find a job. And during that time, he falls sick. He was so sick that he was hospitalized, and then he was not in any insurance. So in those dire circumstances, he had to run away from the hospital, and he took a flight because he had no money to pay for the bills. And then he took a flight. He had to come back to India. And as he did that, okay, when you have, okay, um, uh, when you have a pending balance here, okay, in the country, okay, when you've not paid an outstanding balance or something like that for a certain period of time, then you cannot return back to this country. So from a why I'm saying is, okay, from a very, very highly lucrative situation to a completely adverse situation, it did not take even a year for this situation to happen. So anytime, okay, uh, I would say this material world is very, very dangerous. Okay. And for every, so here Prabhupada is saying they are just like a forest fire that somehow ablazes without being set by anyone. Okay. Without our knowledge that fire is out there. Okay. Similarly, the world situation is such, I'll just highlight this. Similarly, sorry, the world situation is that Similarly, the world situation is such that the perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. Oh, oh, I don't want this, but still we are getting this. So the Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. Okay, a person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. So it is very, very important. Why it is being said is that okay, we should take guidance. I'll give you another instance, okay. Very recently, just a few days back, I was telling okay, a a uh, a friend of mine okay, who grew up with me. He is very dear to me. Somehow, uh, unfortunately, he is not in Krishna consciousness. And I was sharing about with him like, okay, that how important it is to take up Krishna consciousness. But like as our mind is like we view the world with um, the glasses that we have. Okay, if the glass that we have is clear, then we can view the world as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Why Prabhupada is telling, okay, I have this version of Bhagavad Gita as it is, because there are many of the Bhagavad Gitas which are tainted with, like, okay, whatever the authors, at whatever, like, even our president of the India also wrote a Bhagavad Gita. But he's not a devotee, so he does not know that okay, what Arjun would have been, what was the what Arjun would have understood. Many of the Bhagavad Gitas have even taken Krishna out of the picture. So why I was saying this is like, okay, so I was telling this friend of mine that okay, why don't you take up Krishna consciousness? Why don't you chant? Because he has been having, he was expressing me like okay, the kind of difficulties that he has been going through in the past 6 months. A lot of different kind of turbulences that he has been going through his life. So when I asked him to chant this one, and this chanting, it is the medicine of the Kali Yuga. So if we are not taking this up, then we are uh, then we are always vulnerable. Okay, some people may be vulnerable because they are ignorant about it. No one may have actually told them about it. But when we go ahead and tell to someone, then this person told me, no, no, actually, you know what? I don't want to do this chanting because someone came and told me that you are having some uh, um, that you can get a better life, better material life, luxurious life if you chant this some other mantra. Okay, some material demigod's mantra. Okay, and as soon as he started chanting that, he lost his job. Okay, so I was telling that okay, so and then he tries to justify that okay, he says that okay, since I have had that experience, I have decided I will not chant any mantra. I said it is something like you go to a doctor, okay, and this doctor gives you one medicine for which you have a side effect. Now, after that side effect, you are in a terrible position, but you decide that from now on, I will not go to any doctor. Then what will happen? Then you will not get cured of any disease, right? I mean, at the even the mildest disease that you have, even if someone has like cold and cough, like if they are not taking any treatment for it, and let's say the weather is very aggressive, like all the conditions are such that okay, they are provoking that disease to increase, then even the most mildest thing can have a greater effect on the body, and like a person could end up losing his life. So similarly, it is very, very essential to understand, and it is very, very important to understand what is the essence of this, why we need this. But see that there are we may not be able to convince everyone. Okay, but it is our duty to reach out to everyone because um, our one of the teachings that comes like okay, from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. I was telling last week, one of the when Krishna was going to Dwarka at that time, he blesses a, he goes to a flower garland person and he tells, "Can I get a flower garland?" And this flower garland, uh, his name is, I'm just trying to recall the name. Does anyone recall the name? What was the name of this? What was the name of Krishna's closest friend? Does anyone remember?
Sudama.
Sudama, yes, yes.
Sudama.
So this
Yeah.
flower garland is also named Sudama, but he's not that Sudama who is friend of Krishna. So
Yeah.
so and Krishna becomes so happy because this flower garland person, he gives garland not only to Krishna Balaram but to all his friends, and he gives the best of them. It's not that okay, those which are rotten and worn out, like he gave those one. So he gave the best. So Krishna blesses him with. He asks him, "You asked me for a boon," and the boon that he asked, that is a wonderful prayer actually that we can make. He tells that okay, oh Supreme Personality of Godhead, oh Krishna, please bless me so that I can always serve your pure devotees. I can be friendly with all your devotees. Okay. I am compassionate to those souls who are very innocent. Okay. They may be ignorant about you, but they are innocent. So I can be compassionate to them. What happens by being compassionate to them? He can tell him about Krishna. Okay. And I can be far from those who are envious of you. Those who are envious of you means like okay, those who do not want to know about you, those who always blaspheme you, I want to be far from those. So this is a very beautiful prayer. So here, why I came to this is just to give a context, like how important it is to share with others. Like, okay, and here in this case, um, Prabhupada is telling the importance of having the bona fide spiritual master. Then Prabhupada explains, who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yo vaetad aksharam gargi avid avidit vasmalokat praiti sakripanaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who quits this world just like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. Okay, the human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is a Brahman who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Yad ya ekad aksharam gargi vidit vasmal lokat praiti sa brahmana. So, what are the problems of the life? What is it that we are talking about solving? Birth, death, old age, and disease. So that we don't have to come back to this world. So that, okay, if someone has experienced some kind of material distress, okay, I'll give you one very easy example. Okay, forget about like, okay, the problems that we are having in like some may have problems with relationship, jobs, this, that, like, okay, that is fine. But if you think about it, just 50 years back, okay, some of us may have not been here, but 50 years back, our Laluka can tell us, like, okay, how was the weather? How was the climatic condition? Summer, winter, were they these unbearable as they are in today's time? What do you think,
No,
Aku?
they, actually the summer was not this much. Heat was not there. Now the global warming has making very hot to everyone
Yes,
here.
yes. So every year you can see it's the age of Kali, and we are just talking about 50 years. We are 5,000 years into this age of Kali, and 427,000 years are still pending. Think about like many days I clean the house, I clean near the garage. There are so many ants which unknowingly, okay, they get crushed under my feet. Okay, and I'm just thinking that okay, see, they they are very innocent. Okay, but and it's not that okay, I'm just trying to kill them, but many times, like, okay, they are getting crushed. What kind of life is this? Our human life is also no different. Okay, there are so many people who are getting killed in various ways, but in this human life, we have a chance. We have the valuable asset. We can think about Krishna. We have this chance to hear this knowledge that Krishna is giving. This chance we will not get. Prabhupada further explains the Krapanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. Skin disease means we are related to them by skin, by the bodily affection. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death. So whoever is a Kripana, he thinks that okay, if I just take care of them, I'll be happy. Yeah, yeah, I can take care of them, like whatever is required. And he thinks that okay, he is the protector of the family. Oh, if I die, then what will happen to you? Okay, the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Many people have, they think that, okay, my family is there, my friends are around, these are the support system that I need. And that's it. I am all set. They are very influential. As long as I got these people with me, we are good. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjun could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. So Arjun also had this, like he wanted to protect his relatives from death. Okay, they were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty was to fight, to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. So Arjun knew that he is a Kshatriya. He is not a Brahman. He is not a Vaishya. He is not a businessman. He is not a Shudra. He is not a worker class. His duty is not to do begging like as a Brahman. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. And now Prabhupada says talks between the master and the disciple are serious. And now Arjun wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjun is the first disciple for understanding the Bhagavad Gita. So, how Arjun understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet, mundane, foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. Many Bhagavad Gita, they consider Krishna to be impersonal, and they say that okay, we should submit to the unborn within Krishna. That is useless. Really. So Krishna within and without is, it's, there is no difference. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So, in a sense, Prabhupada is saying that okay, we have to understand from the right source, and this is most crucial. So, we have understood like today from based on this that how this discussion between Arjun and Krishna is going, and how Krishna is suggesting that okay, Arjun has to go ahead and he has to understand um, how Arjun approaches the Guru, why the Guru is important. Prabhupada is explaining that. So as long as if we have understood this portion, okay, as the conversation goes further, okay, there's a lot of questions that Arjun is asking. What should we? What are these questions? As we go on studying this Bhagavad Gita, we can look at our own life, and we can see that these are many of these things are very relevant. Okay, and as we read this Bhagavad Gita more and more, like, okay, I feel that okay, like, okay, I get more deeper realizations. Like, okay, although like I am just a very insignificant person, but by Guru's mercy, by Prabhupada's mercy, see, there are realizations that comes like, okay, oh, this is so meaningful. And actually, I have so far I felt that okay, there is no question that is out there which cannot be answered. No question in the entire world that cannot be answered with the Bhagavad Gita. So practically any question can be answered with the Bhagavad Gita. It is that powerful a tool that Krishna is giving us. And it is that powerful because it has been given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is eternal. I mean, this is not like our news channel that, okay, oh, today we declare that, okay, eating chia seeds is good. And then after 1 year, oh, chia seeds is the most dangerous thing. It can cause this cancer. I'm just making it up, like, but like this, we typically get material news, right? So even in material context, like, okay, the newspaper that we say news, right? That newspaper is only valid for that particular day. If we go back and ask for this newspaper like 4 days after, like, okay, there is absolutely no value. No one wants to see that newspaper because it's all stale. But whatever Krishna has given in the Bhagavad Gita, that is fresh each and every day. So with that, I would conclude here. I wanted to go through, like, as we go through it, I wanted to make sure that, okay, we understand this and keep moving forward. If you think that, okay, there is, if we are, it's anything is, if there are any questions or so, we can take it now. Or if there are any comments, any suggestions, if there is, if this is, if the space is good or if it is not understandable, please let me know. Hare Krishna.
Uh,
श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय.
yeah,
Jagat Guru Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur
yeah.
Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Uh,
Does anyone have? Yes, Param Prabhu. Oh, very glad to see you, Prabhu.
Hare,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Uh,
I joined in a bit late, but I am glad I joined because I could completely relate each and everything that you said, and the way you explained was like I would say in a very simple way you have explained it, uh, and it is clearly and understandable, I would say. And all those examples that you were giving, I was able to relate to it regarding the job and all. So I can give one example of mine is, I was not joining a company because there was a vacancy under a lady, and which I heard was not good, and she used to do a lot of micromanagement and all that. I was not joining it. But later on, there was a vacancy in some other department, same department, but under different person. So I joined that. And it so happened that after a year, that profile went a year back to US, and I was forced to join under that lady. So, so I was very tense. I told my manager, इसके अंदर मुझे करना पड़े तो मैं छोड़ दूंगा. So he's like, okay, let me see what I can do. And later on, like after 3, 4 months, I was pulled back into a different team, which was very good. So I just wanted to say that, all these problems, like the example that you gave of the forest fire, the fire will come, but I think it will go off also on its own. It's just the human mind that we have multiple assumptions in our mind. Like if I can relate to or if I tell my scenario, that lady was very sweet to me, but again with all those things that I have heard about her, I always had that doubt what she will do with me now. So yeah, so I think like within few months I was moved into different team. It's just our mindset also, I believe, and because we don't know the right direction and we don't know what to do. Like if today also I face problem, it's not that, but yeah, one thing is there, whatever problem it is, the first thing that I have in my mind is that I have to complete my rounds. So
mm,
the moment I have that thought, the mind itself gets diverted. Like if in my home, no, like not everyone knows that I am into Krishna consciousness. And if I am in my home, the example I can give you is recently, as you are aware, like a year back, my mother passed away, and I went to my hometown.
mm,
Yeah, I was not able to do the chanting the day it happened, but from next day, since a lot of people were there, I had this thought in my mind also, I have to complete my rounds at least. Whatever 1 or 2 day has gone, now I have to focus back. So yeah, the mind got diverted, and by doing it, you get the strength as well, and it shows the right direction also. So yeah, and also just another thought here. Like again, I want to relate to my examples. Here is, the way we are brought up. And what our family, like my family, tried to do is, okay, we are sick, we have to follow Guru Granth Sahib and all that. I still go to Gurdwara. I'm not able to join the classes because every Saturday we go to Gurdwara, and I go, and when they read the Guru Granth Sahib, I don't understand. I can't read Punjabi, but they show the translations as well. And when I read the translation, I see there is a reference to Krishna. Like last to last week when I went, uh, there was a reference of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, and I was like, okay, I read this in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. It is there, everything is there. It's just that what I feel again, and I talk to my wife also, is, you know, like since childhood, we are like made to understand, okay, this is our guru, you have to read it, follow it, nobody else is there. But with that mindset, nobody is able to look beyond it and try to understand the real meaning, what it is saying. And like my understanding of different religion is that was the need of that particular time. That is why it was there. But the main reason why it was there, and people basically got stuck to those religion, and we I would say, like, we are still stuck to it. It is my thought process. Yeah, these were the few things I just wanted to share, because when you were uh, explaining it, all these thoughts were there in my mind, and as I said, I was able to relate it also. Like, these are the issues that I also see, why people are stuck in the problem, or I was stuck in the problem. I'm still stuck, I would say, into the. I still have materialistic desires, I would say. But yeah, I think I have a very long way to go. I'm still into. I think I've just started the journey. A long way to go for me. But yeah,
Yes,
thank you so much for all these classes. Like, it helps a lot, and the way you explain is amazing.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Param Prabhu, for sharing these realizations. These are very helpful. And actually, um, you mentioned about these job scenarios and about the different practices. See, when you mentioned about this religion, right? It is very amazing that I was hearing this very beautiful conversation uh, about the essence of all these different practices that we have. And if you're okay, then I can quickly share this. It is a 3-minute clip. Uh, we can watch this together because you will see that this is so much meaningful, exactly in the same lines of what you're talking. Give me one. Is my screen visible now?
Not
Yes,
visible.
yeah, it is loading. It is loading. Yes, Prabhuji, now it is.
Okay, so just hear this thing. Okay, this is so touching actually. This is His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he's talking this, addressing to the general mass crowd in Africa. He was also in US, and he's from the Princeton University. So please hear this.
So Krishna consciousness is somewhat different in that it gives mankind the oldest spiritual scriptures on the entire planet. This can be historically, linguistically, philosophically proven. The Vedic scriptures are the oldest scriptures. And so therefore they help to make a person a better Christian, a better Muslim, a better Hindu. And when one becomes better, perfect, he no longer considers himself of any specific demarcated distinction. But he considers himself as a servant of God. When we look at the great scriptures of the world, we look at the Quran, Muhammad taught in 87 too that of all the names, the most beautiful names belong to God, so call upon him by them. David taught in Psalms 113 that whoever calls on the name of God, he shall be saved. We find that in Romans it teaches that from the rising of the sun to the setting, one should call on God's name. Buddha taught in Amida Buddha that whoever calls on my name, he shall attain paradise. So this calling on God's name has tremendous effect in invoking the presence of the Lord, in invoking the mercy and the benediction of God. So we encourage you to come closer to find out how one can become in a state of consciousness where he is meditating, feeling the Lord's presence every day, where one is able to understand that this body is simply a garment. Just as we change clothes from day to day, that the body is simply being used by the soul. If we develop that genuine understanding, then there is no difficulty in you having a white coat, or he having a red coat, or me having a black coat. These distinctions no longer become such a dominant factor in one's life. Once in Nairobi, one minister of the government came to visit us. And he said, Swamiji, so what can your society offer? So we were explaining about our Food for Life programs, how we're helping the poor, how we have schools, many projects that are going on all over the world. But I said, but let's be very immediate and specific. Let me take you on a small walk, very small temple. In 5 minutes, I said, so this boy is from Italy, this girl is from Spain, this person is from South Africa, white person, this black person is from South Africa, this person is from America. Says, now you tell me one place in Nairobi, one place in Kenya where you can say you have this kind of variegatedness and people are working together in a loving spirit. And he immediately could understand due to his knowledge of tribal problems, racial problems, etc. So we are showing what is possible. And we are humbly and submissively willing to offer that, to help to solve some of the seemingly unsolvable problems in this world. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So, I don't know, Parampapu, if you are able to hear that. So,
Yes, we heard it. Very good.
Yeah, so I was recently hearing something like, especially from my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that if he gave one very beautiful example, especially he said that, okay, see, many of us, like, we have seen some people have dogs, right? So we also had a dog, like, at our home, like, his name was Piyu. Okay, and he asked this question. He asked it to actually our very dear devotee, His Grace Adigadar Prabhu. He asked this question to a spiritual master. He said that, okay, um, do you think, like, why do we need this religion after all? Because after all, I see, and this was in his early days. So he was saying that, okay, after all, this religion is the cause of so many problems. Okay, there are so many battles that has been fought because of religion. So then he gives this example. He says, okay, okay, I don't think it's actually religion, but let's take an example. If someone has a dog at home, then do you have a dog at home? He said, and at that time, Prabhu also had a dog at his home. He said, if you go to the dog in your three-piece suit, will the dog recognize you? I said, yes. If you go in the pajamas, will the dog recognize you? Yes. If you go in, do you play sports? If you go in your sports attire, will the dog recognize you? Yes. If you go in your swimming trunks, will the dog recognize you? Yes. Why? Because you are the master. And no matter whatever dress you may change, I mean, the dog recognizes you. So similarly, as Paramprabhu you were saying, right, okay, that same personality may come either in various forms or he may send different messengers. Okay, and 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 then he said one something very interesting and very strong. Like he said, okay, but if we are not able to recognize that master uh, when he's coming in different forms, then we are worse than a dog. Okay, so this is that same personality who is coming in different forms, okay, or sending his different messengers, okay. But we know that, okay, yes. And as you are very wonderfully said that, okay, as you are seeing the essence of this, as you go to Gurdwara, this is the right approach. This is Krishna consciousness, where you have where you are able to relate to these. Okay, and when you are able to relate to this, you may have realizations, okay, through this as you are understanding this. And as we deepen our understanding, as we deepen our understanding, reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, that gives us a greater sense. And I think that's pretty much about it. And in Gurdwara, I know like all the devotees who were there, like, they have such a wonderful sense of service, which I've personally seen and noticed. So thank you so very much for sharing, Param Prabhu. Is there anything else you wanted to share, Prabhu? Param Prabhu, if you are speaking, you are not audible. Okay, maybe there is some network issue.
Hello,
Okay,
hello,
Lalu.
mic testing, mic testing.
Yes, now it's audible.
Can you hear me now, Prabhuji?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said nothing as of now. That was, I think, these thoughts were there for quite some time in my mind. So I think today's class was uh, the right time to speak up because I was able to, all these questions I had or the thoughts I had. I think today's class was completely relatable, and I was able to speak up, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Lalu Kaku, did you have anything?
No, I have listened to you. It is very good, and thank you very much. That is what I can say.
Hare Krishna. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौरांग कुटी
Ananta Vilas
भक्तवृंद
Prabhu
की,
ki joy.
Yeah,
गौरांग कुटी भक्तवृंद की जय, श्री गुरु
yeah,
गौरांग की जय, पिता गौर का
yeah,
हरि हरि बोल.
yeah.